Here's the uncomfortable truth about buying a used car for under $5,000 in 2026. Most of the good ones are gone before you even open your browser. The second a clean Corolla, a low-mile Civic, or a decent Accord hits the market, it sells sometimes the same afternoon and usually for more than it should. Everyone has been told the same short list. Everyone is fighting over the same handful of cars. But what if I told you there are four vehicles most buyers completely ignore? Vehicles with proven mechanical foundations, widely available replacement parts, and reputations for reaching extremely high mileage that can sometimes still be found for under $5,000 depending on your market, condition, and mileage. One of them shares its drivetrain DNA with a Toyota. One was engineered specifically to survive the hardest fleet service on the road. And the number one pick on this list uses an American V6 that engine enthusiasts have been praising for decades. We are counting down from 4 to 1. Before we get into it, if you want used car advice that is actually useful, the kind that helps you avoid sinking your savings into someone else's problem, hit subscribe. We cover the vehicles that give you real value, not the ones that look good in a dealership photo. Now, a quick and honest note. Prices vary dramatically by state, condition, mileage, rust exposure, and local demand. Not every example on this list will be under $5,000, and not every example is worth buying at any price. Condition matters more than the name on the hood. Before you hand over cash for any car in this price range, get a pre-purchase inspection from a mechanic you trust. These are not perfect vehicles. They are older cars with age-related issues. But for the money, they may offer significantly better value than the options everyone else is chasing. Number 4. Ford Crown Victoria, 2003-2011. Let's start with the car most people either laugh at or completely forget exists. The Crown Victoria looks like something your grandfather drove or something you would flag down at an airport. It is large, it is old-fashioned, and the fuel economy is genuinely painful. So why is it on this list? Because this car was built for one purpose: to survive. The Crown Victoria served as a police patrol vehicle, a taxi, a government fleet car, and a livery vehicle for years across the United States. Ford engineered it to absorb high idle hours, aggressive driving, and minimal downtime. The 4.6-liter modular V8 under the hood is a simple, proven unit that mechanics across the country know well. The body-on-frame construction is robust. The rear-wheel drive layout is straightforward to work on. And because millions of these were produced and retired from fleet use, parts are everywhere and they are cheap. The trunk is enormous. The interior is comfortable for tall passengers. On the highway, it is relaxed and stable. For someone who drives long distances on flat roads, that is not nothing. Here's where you have to be careful, though. Many Crown Victorias available under $5,000 are retired police units. Former fleet cars can have extremely high idle hours that do not always show on the odometer. Hard use, deferred maintenance, and interior wear are common. Look carefully at the service history, inspect the cooling system, check the transmission for any hesitation or roughness, and get underneath to look for rust, especially in northern states. Brake and suspension wear on former police cars can be significant. The Crown Victoria is best for someone who needs a cheap, mechanically simple rear-wheel drive workhorse and does not mind the fuel bills. It is not the most efficient choice, but it is one of the most honestly built cars of its era. Number 3. Toyota Avalon, $2,000-2004. Here's a car that gets overlooked for a strange reason. It is too nice. Buyers searching the $5,000 range usually do not expect to find a large, smooth, quiet Toyota sedan at that price. But the first generation and early second generation Avalon can sometimes be found in that range precisely because it was always sold as a luxury alternative to the Camry. And luxury ages quickly in the public's perception. Mechanically, the Avalon from this era shares Toyota's well-regarded V6 powertrain philosophy. It was designed for comfort, highway refinement, and durability, and in that last area, it genuinely delivers. Many of these cars have well over 200,000 miles on them and are still driven daily. The cabin is spacious, the ride is smooth, and highway fuel economy is respectable for a vehicle this size. The reason buyers walk past it is simple. They search for a Camry, find it overpriced, and give up. The Avalon, which is in some ways the better car, sits right next to it on the search results page. Ignored. What do you need to check? On applicable engine configurations, verify timing belt service history. If it has not been done, budget for it immediately. Inspect the cooling system carefully. A car this age can have degraded coolant, a tired thermostat, or hose issues that become expensive if ignored. Look at the suspension components, check for oil leaks around the valve covers, and watch for any warning lights. The age-related rubber components, bushings, seals, hoses, are worth a close look. If you find a clean Avalon with documented maintenance, low rust, and a solid inspection report, you are looking at one of the quietest, most comfortable daily drivers available under $5,000. Number 2. Pontiac Vibe, 2003-2008. Now we get to the one that surprises people the most. The Pontiac Vibe looks like a forgettable compact hatchback from a brand that no longer exists. That is exactly why it is underpriced. What most buyers do not realize is that the Vibe was co-developed with Toyota and shares its mechanical architecture with the Toyota Matrix. The engine, the transmission, and much of the drivetrain were Toyota-sourced components. Pontiac's discontinued badge suppresses the resale price. Toyota's mechanical reputation supports the reliability. That gap between perception and reality is where your opportunity lives. For a commuter, the Vibe is genuinely practical. Fuel economy is solid, the hatchback cargo area is useful. The car is easy to maneuver in city traffic and comfortable enough on the highway. Replacement parts are not expensive. A mechanic familiar with Toyota products will have no trouble working on it. Where do you need to be careful? Rust is a real concern on examples from salt-heavy regions. Check the rockers, wheel wells, and floor carefully. Some engine configurations and model years had reports of elevated oil consumption, so check the oil level when you test drive and watch the tailpipe. Inspect the transmission for smooth shifting. As with any car at this price point, look for evidence of deferred maintenance. Worn tires, dirty fluids, warning lights, and a general sense that the previous owner was not paying attention. The Pontiac Vibe is ideal for someone who wants Toyota reliability in a practical hatchback format and is willing to look past the badge to get a better deal. Number 1. Buick LeSabre, 2000-2005. Everything else on this list is a good value. The Buick LeSabre in the right condition is something different. This is the car most buyers dismiss immediately. It is a large American sedan associated with older drivers, slow highway lanes, and cars your grandparents owned. The interior is beige, the styling is soft. Nobody under 40 is searching for one, and that is exactly the point. Under the hood sits the 3.8-liter Buick 3800 Series 2 V6, one of the most praised American engines of its generation. This engine has a documented reputation for durability. It is simple, well understood, and supported by an enormous supply of affordable replacement parts. The platform is comfortable on long drives, stable at highway speeds, and easy on the back. The interior is genuinely spacious, more so than most economy cars. Because LeSabres were often owned by older drivers with low annual mileage, careful maintenance habits, and clean garages, you occasionally find examples in significantly better condition than comparably priced compact cars that spent years in harsher conditions. But the engine's reputation does not protect a neglected car. You still need to inspect the intake manifold components, which were a known weakness on this platform. Check the cooling system closely. Verify that the transmission shifts smoothly through all gears and that there is no slipping or hesitation. Look at the suspension. Worn struts and bushings are common at this age. Check all electrical accessories because older GM vehicles can have issues with windows, locks, and instrument clusters. Look for any evidence of coolant leaks or oil seepage. The LeSabre is the best overall value on this list for someone who wants maximum comfort, a mechanically respected engine, cheap parts, and a car that can genuinely be maintained for years at a reasonable cost. For a daily commuter, a highway traveler, or someone who simply needs a reliable and comfortable car without spending a fortune, it is hard to beat. Here is how these four stack up if you are trying to choose between them. For sheer comfort and a smooth ride, the LeSabre and the Avalon are in a class of their own for this price range. For practical, everyday use and fuel economy, the Pontiac Vibe is the clear winner. For simple, heavy-duty construction and the cheapest possible parts, the Crown Victoria is still hard to argue with. Best overall value for most buyers, the Buick LeSabre, assuming you find one in good condition. But here is what matters more than the ranking. The best car on this list is not the one ranked highest. It is the cleanest, best-maintained example with the most complete service history and the strongest pre-purchase inspection results. A neglected LeSabre is a worse buy than a well-cared-for Crown Victoria. Condition wins every time. Before you buy anything under $5,000, do these things. Pay for a professional pre-purchase inspection. This is not optional. Run the VN through a vehicle history service. Get underneath and look for serious rust. Start the car cold and listen. Test the transmission at city and highway speeds. Check all fluids. Look for signs of overheating. Budget for at least a few $100s in immediate maintenance, and do not spend every dollar you have on the purchase price itself. Leaving yourself with nothing after the purchase is one of the most common mistakes buyers make at this price point. So, which of these four would you actually trust with your own money? Have you owned one of these? And what overlooked reliable car do you think belongs on a future list? Drop it in the comments. If this video helped you think differently about the used car market, a like goes a long way. And subscribing keeps honest used car content coming your way. We will see you in the next one.